Considering home security? Consider this. For 140 years, ADT has helped stop more crime than any other home security company. The yard sign isn't just a sign, it's a line in the sand. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes. Visit ADT.com to learn more. For license information and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Guests like Sean Payton, coach of the Saints. What a year they're having. He'll join us in this hour on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Nick Saban coming up later this morning. What are we expecting from that?
Well, I mean, I'm expecting a tier or two.
Krzyzewski was so nice to us yesterday. Izzo was so nice to us the other day. So many people have recorded these nice messages for us. Do you think Saban is aware that it's our last day tomorrow?
Oh, I have no idea. He thinks we're going to break
him on those premises.
I think he believes we're going to break down the Mercer game.
I'm just curious. I'll be very interested to see how that goes. We have classic Nick Saban.
Oh, it was fantastic. I love that man. It's so
got it here
good.
in 15 minutes. I'm playing it in this segment. We'll get to that. So we got a million things that we're working on here today, and it's been great fun. But I just want to start quickly with Joel Embiid because, they call Kristaps Porzingis the unicorn and all that. But it's Embiid who actually, in my opinion, is the most multi-skilled of these guys. And now we're really splitting hairs because you've got Davis, you've got Porzingis.
You got Karl Anthony Towns.
You've got Karl Anthony Towns, and you've got Embiid. I'm not putting Antetokounmpo in the same group. Antetokounmpo is different.
Yeah.
He's even more freakish. But while he can do everything, Antetokounmpo is basically a guard. I mean, he's almost like the next iteration of Magic Johnson, but a trillion times more athletic. These guys are like the next iteration of whoever you want to say, Kevin Garnett or someone like that. So of that group, I for the longest time said if you could tell me that he was going to stay healthy, I would take Embiid out of the bunch. You, of course, couldn't go wrong with any of them. And last night, after a night that he filled up the stat sheet in a way that has genuinely never been filled up before, Mark Jackson had these thoughts.
Well, the wait is over. They've done a very good job of acquiring young, spectacular talent in Embiid and then Simmons, and also surrounding them with veteran guys that know how to play, that compete at a high level, and they've trusted the process of Brett Brown also. So job well done across the board, and Philadelphia, your wait is over.
You just wait to see where this team can go. He's 23 years old. Ben Simmons now playing as a rookie after missing last year. Remember, I mean, for those that may forget, he is a 6'10" point guard. The comparisons to Magic Johnson and the numbers that you're going through from Magic's rookie year, he's a 6'10" point guard. They don't have Markelle Fultz yet because of the shoulder. We'll see when you're going to get him back. He's taking his obligatory year off, was what you do when you're a top pick with the Sixers, you think.
And maybe he'll wind up having been the right pick, but could you imagine Jason Tatum on this team? I mean, which he was my first pick all along. I was saying it last year. Could you imagine putting him or candidly any other really, really, really good young player on this team right now? Again, maybe Fultz will.
We'll see where it goes because Embiid missed a ton of games and certainly Simmons missed his first year. So we'll see where it goes. But wow, I mean, you want to talk about the future is bright, and this is a team you got to believe with this youth that there'll be some really good veteran that's going to want to go play with them. That's going to want to go be part of that. So. That's an interesting team to keep an eye on.
Any chance that veteran
LeBron
goes by the initials of LBJ?
I don't think so. But what do I know? I don't know. Man, I mean,
Embiid had 46 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 blocks last night. It's ridiculous. And so he's that good. Look, I went into this season saying that I would take Minnesota's young talent over Philadelphia's. I've definitively changed my mind having watched Simmons. Again, the X factor in this is Embiid and his health. Mm-hmm. If Embiid is going to have a full and healthy career at this point and his knee issues are behind him, I mean, Simmons is ridiculous. Wiggins is a good player, but Simmons is ridiculous. Simmons is
He is.
He's as good a young player as has come into the league in a long time.
For those that just forget, because it was out of sight, out of mind, he wasn't on. He's a 6'10" point guard.
He's everything they said he was going to be.
He really
the
is.
Sixers, they're 8-6. They play a lot of games without Embiid. He's still on a pitch count, if you will. We'll see where that winds up going. Anyway, just wanted to make sure that we got that in. Next, I mentioned that the most important calendar month next year of pro football is going to be March. And Field Yates put this into pretty nice perspective with a tweet that he had yesterday in which he just sort of gave you a list of all the quarterbacks who could theoretically be free agents next year. Now, all of these won't necessarily be.
Right.
But it could include the 2018 veteran quarterback market. So this doesn't include, because this won't be March. April will be for Darnold and
draft,
Rosen and those guys. So factor in that you're going to have quarterbacks in the draft that teams love, right? Some guys are going to love Rosen, and others are going to love Baker Mayfield, and others are going to love Sam Darnold, and others are going to love Josh Allen.
Rudolph.
These are
guys.
just veteran quarterbacks who could be on the market. Kirk Cousins, Tyrod Taylor, this after the benching yesterday. Alex Smith, who could be available in a trade depending on what they decide to do in Philly. Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, Josh McCown. What did I say? Philly, Kansas City, of course. Let me start again. Kirk Cousins, Tyrod Taylor, Alex Smith, Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, Josh McCown, Mike Glennon, Blake Bortles, and he puts here unlikely, but Jimmy Garoppolo. In theory, the 49ers don't have to decide to re-sign him.
Forgot one. How about possibility of Drew Brees?
And Drew Brees. Yeah, he didn't even write that name down there. But, of course, his name could be in that mix as well.
Right.
And we can talk to Sean about that when he joins us in a little while. But what do you make of all of that?
Well, I mean, listen, you can go through them one at a time. Case Keenum is making a nice case, no pun intended, for himself. Listen, Bradford is going to be done. I don't think anybody's going after Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford didn't get touched this year, basically, and it's got the knee, and now he's on. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you're trusting that? I mean, the one thing you want out of a backup, because a backup, doesn't get hit an awful lot, is when the backup needs to play, the backup is ready to go. And now all of a sudden, well, wait a minute, nobody touched the guy, and our backup isn't a backup anymore. I don't think so. I certainly wouldn't. It's a shame because, it's an injury. It's nobody's fault. It's an injury. But listen, Kirk Cousins is going to get $100 million somewhere. We know that's going to happen.
How about Tyrod Taylor? That news broke late in our show yesterday.
I am just stunned that he got benched. I don't understand that one at all. They're sitting at 5-4. They're right in the playoff hunt as far as a wild card is concerned. That's the move you decide to make. Your defense got destroyed by the Saints, and 6 rushing touchdowns against them and almost 300 yards rushing. And Tyrod Taylor, who's, again, never going to be a 35, 40 touchdown guy, 10 interception guy, that 5,000, 4,500 yard guy. But I think he's a really good quarterback, and he's dangerous with his legs as well. They like Peterman. They like what he does as far as his accuracy, his decision-making ability to get the ball out of his hand. He's more of that pocket passer. He'll throw it. He'll get it to the playmakers. And that's what they're looking for right now. But he's a rookie. He is a rookie who you're a team. I could see if Tyrod Taylor was just like you covered your eyes when he went out there. He misses throws. I get it. I understand that. But to me, as I said, just a matter of time until he's back on the field again. I do not see this lasting at all.
They gave up 6 rushing touchdowns last week. Obviously, none of that has to do with Tyrod Taylor. So I could see Tyrod Taylor in a lot of different places next year. Some of the other names that we mentioned on that list, again, of guys that people might be very interested in, there are some of them who I think are just terrific backups. A guy like Josh McCown, who is starting for the Jets this year, is a terrific backup. Where's Blake Bortles going to be? Is Jacksonville going to move on from him? You keep saying you think
they
will.
Absolutely are going to move on from him.
Who's their quarterback?
So let's break down who the guys moving that can be starters. That can be Cousins certainly is going to be a starter somewhere. How about Alex Smith?
He's a starter.
How about Alex Smith to Jacksonville?
I mean, if Andy Reid was willing to trade but Alex Smith to Jacksonville, I would guess that Tom Coughlin would do that in the blink of an eye.
In the blink of an eye. Doesn't turn the ball over. Rely on the running. You have an excellent
defense. Would you rather
defense.
have him or Eli? Right now. And I don't know what the cost for either would be.
I'd probably take Alex Smith right now.
He's younger,
and he can add with.
Not a lot younger.
He's not a lot younger, but he can add with his legs if need be as well.
Yep.
And I think that can be an important element. So as far as starters, is Tyrod Taylor, if he's not in Buffalo, is he going to be a starter somewhere?
I think so.
Alex Smith, certainly, if he's not in Kansas City, can be a starter somewhere. Case Keenum is making a case to go somewhere and compete for a starting job. I don't know if he goes somewhere and he's handed the job, say, Case, we're signing you and you're the starter, but you go in there with a quarterback competition feeling just fine if he wins the job. You may, I don't know if it's total buy-in, but he's doing well for himself. There's no doubt about that.
Well, if you're Minnesota, you keep him and you keep Bridgewater and you see what shakes out.
I would agree with that.
So it's going to be the point that I was trying to make here is that just March could become a very, very interesting month. The new league year starts, the free agent deals start getting made, and it all starts getting reshaped. And that's why I've always been fascinated. This sport does it differently than basketball. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one is right and which one is wrong. But in basketball, they do the draft, right, and then they do the free agency. Yeah. In this case, they do the free agency, and then they do the draft. So you can have these teams that have very high draft picks that may need quarterbacks, and you have all these free agents. Mm-hmm. These free agents get snapped up before the draft happens.
Yeah, and then everything changes.
So that to me, if you reverse the order of those, I'm not saying it would be better, but it certainly would be different.
It would be different. No, I like this. I mean, this way the landscape changes in a heartbeat. A team that's looking for a quarterback, so you think they're going draft, all of a sudden they pick up one of these guys and they say, okay, we're good at quarterback. Now, wow, okay, everything kind of shifts. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they do it this way, I guess, because you can then make trades of draft picks. So a lot of the deals that are going to get made involve draft picks that they wind up making there in March, and we see which teams wind up positioning themselves for those quarterbacks who are at the top of the draft, who will cost less than Kirk Cousins. They will cost more than some of the other guys we just mentioned on this list.
I think Alex Smith is interesting. They can cut him after the season. If Andy Reid is ready to go to Mahomes, they can cut him. It would only be $3.6 million dead money in that dead cap money. So he would be an intriguing one to me if he were on the market. He would definitely be an intriguing one to me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's right now. There are people giving him MVP votes, and he could wind up not being there. But you heard Louis Riddick sitting in here with us yesterday, if you were with us, talking about how Patrick Mahomes, according to everyone, is setting the world on fire.
Is supposed to be the real deal. Again, we'll have to wait and see. He hasn't been under fire yet, so we'll wait on that one. But
they took him ahead. Remember,
there's a reason
ahead of Deshaun Watson.
There's a reason Andy Reid jumped up to get him. There's no doubt about
it. Sometimes I think people forget now. Mitchell Trubisky was not the only quarterback taken before Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Watson went third amongst the quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was so ridiculously good in the short sample that we saw that it makes everything else questionable. You're not going to see Mahomes this year because the Chiefs are thinking Super Bowl thoughts. They're not going to change quarterbacks.
No, they're not.
Along the way. It'd be interesting to see if they do go deep into the playoffs, if they wind up going deep in the playoffs and making a quarterback change. Remember, in Baltimore, the Ravens won a Super Bowl and made a quarterback change. Mm-hmm. So that will be fascinating to watch. All right, one more thing I wanted to play you before we get to fill in the blank here, and that is Ben McAdoo, the much beleaguered Ben McAdoo, said yesterday that the head coach of the Giants said that he had a very emotional talk with his team, that there was a lot of honesty. They laid a lot of things on the line. Then he met the media and said this.
That's where we are in the season. We're halfway through. We have one win. Let's run right to it. We're blessed to have the opportunities that we have, 7 more weeks. I think it's a great opportunity. It's probably the greatest opportunity of my life, these next 7 weeks. A lot of doubt out there, whether it's in the building or not, but there's doubt definitely on the outside, so we have a chance to flip the script last 7 weeks.
So we've turned to the positive now and going forward. And listen, I'm kind of, for shows like ours, everybody loves to talk about the negative, but you got to spin it positive. I guess the meeting was a very frank meeting, a film study up there of plays. And then, listen, that's the one thing that will, in all honesty, when you sit there and you have anonymous players, that's what I would do if I were a coach. If there were anonymous players saying how our coach lost it, he's the reason we're losing, blah, 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 I'd go into a meeting, I would just turn on film. Say, what do you think? Okay? That's not me on the sideline. That's all I'd be thinking in my head. It's not me on the sideline calling a play. That's you not hustling. That's you looking disinterested. So the eye in the sky don't lie. So you can get a lot of those things out in the meeting, and then basically the main thing you want to come out in a meeting like that is let's all spin this positive, and let's all move forward and try and be a team, try and be a cohesive unit, and in all honesty, at least just act like it.
Yeah.
At least just act like you're all spitting forward. I would say for whatever your reasons are, whether it's the guy next to you, whether if it's someone in this facility, whether it's the person in the mirror, whoever, just let's be positive, let's play for something and move forward.
Yeah, and at some point, put aside the I'm upset that there are anonymous leaks in my locker room, and get to what they're actually saying.
Right.
Because I've said it many times. I don't like the players saying this stuff anonymously, but I believe them. Mm-hmm. And that assess it realistically based upon what they're saying.
On both sides.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Oh, no, look, at the end of the day, the players are if you're not hustling, you're not playing, you're not doing your job.
Right.
No one is disputing that. But if you're the coach, at some point, get beyond, I'm upset that they're saying this stuff, and get to, this is what they're saying.
Yeah.
So if I want to be the coach of this team going forward, and I want these guys to, if I want to try and turn this thing around, I have to look at myself at least a little bit as well.
I think that's where they all were. So let's see what happens.
All right, let's roll along here. Let's fill in the blank. Brought to you by Mahindra Tractors and Utility Vehicles. Mahindra USA, the world's #1 selling tractor. We have a bunch of really good questions put together by the staff here. Number one, the current top 4 team least likely to make the college football playoff is blank. So there are a lot of ways you could decipher it. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Miami. Miami's looked good in their games with Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, but they not in some of the other games. And when you get to especially that ACC title game, and if Clemson takes care of them, that could drop, and Wisconsin stays undefeated, that could be the flip. Wisconsin in, Miami out. Loser of that game out. And right now, I think Miami's playing great now, but I've seen enough of Miami, kind of the Jekyll and Hyde of them, that if they keep going the way they played against Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, they have a really good shot to keep winning. But I would take Clemson right now over them if you were to ask me. So I think if they were to lose that game, I think they would be the ones potentially out.
One way of looking at it would be Alabama is the least likely because they have the hardest remaining schedule. They have to go to Auburn. Auburn is 6 in the country. And then if they win that, they have to beat Georgia, who is 7 in the country.
Right.
So they have the hardest remaining games. They, however, are the one team that maybe, I think, could lose a game and still get in. So I will agree with you based upon the fact that I think you are the one who said to me you think Miami might still get in even with losing that game at Clemson. We'll see.
We'll see.
I will agree with you for the purposes of this, just based on what I think will happen. Next, the ideal team for Tyrod Taylor next season is blank.
Wow. I don't know why it wouldn't be Buffalo. Why still wouldn't it be Buffalo?
Because they obviously don't think so.
Well,
listen,
you're
benching this guy at 5-4 for Nathan Peterman.
Well, once he's back in the starting lineup, it will be interesting by the end of the year. I truly and firmly believe Tyrod Taylor will be the starting quarterback when this season ends. Are they going to want to make a quarterback change then? Are they going to move ahead and away from Tyrod Taylor?
I'll say what you said before. I think Jacksonville would be the perfect team for him. He'd turn around, hand the ball to Leonard Fournette, make plays. They've got a couple of weapons on the outside. They've got a great defense. I think that any good starting quarterback goes to Jacksonville, you got a chance to win.
You got a lot around you because one thing you don't want to do is rely. When he has to throw more than 30 passes, their record is horrible. It's very, very bad. So you have to take that into consideration as well. But that's why Jacksonville, with a great defense and a great running game, could be a good spot.
Next one, we're going to this one, Mike. A pitch clock in MLB would be blank.
You know, I want to say good, but I was talking to Hemble a little bit before the show. What could that bring? You know, more rest for pitchers without the pitch clock brings better recovery, which means higher velocity. So you speed up the pitching, the velocity goes down, you're going to get more hits. So if you're looking for that, you can get that. Are you going to deal with more arm injury as well with speeding up the pitching, or are you going to get to even more pitching changes to get somebody out of there quicker because they're throwing faster? So I don't know if I know enough of the unintended consequences of something like that. I can see the big picture of what they want, but, you know, it's always those unintended consequences that kind of can get you.
All right, and then the last one, but I wanted to make sure we got this in. The current fashion trend you don't understand is blank, and the reason we ask this is because of the way Nick Saban, who will be a guest here later this morning, opened his press conference yesterday.
I guess I just wanted to know how we got here. Not to offend anybody out there, but I just walked by some jeans, wore-out jeans, holes in them, all cut up. I just remember when I was a kid in West Virginia, I was ashamed to go to school because my jeans were wore out, only because we didn't have any better. Now they buy them that way. I just can't figure, how did we get here?
I just love how funny he found that. I don't know why it makes me laugh to watch him laughing at that.
I'm not going to lie. From the old man on the porch mentality, I felt the exact same way. I see Chris or Sydney walk around with those jeans, and I'm just like, and God knows what you spend on them. I could do that to jeans. Why can't I do that to a pair of jeans and then sell them? I'm not kidding you. I heard him say that, and I found myself going, you're right. And not just little holes. I mean, the knees are gone in these things. There's rips up and down the legs. And that's like they're the cool jeans. That's when I know. I said, okay, I'm that old guy. Yeah, that's me. I like my jeans whole. Hey, everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for Mike and Mike podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
We've got Sean Payton coming up with us here momentarily. Nick Saban will join us. Stu Gotts, Trey Wingo, Adam Schefter, and more today as we continue on a very busy sports day. And we'll keep covering the sports here for you. And obviously mixing in just little memories and things like that for us over our 18 years as we prepare to wrap this thing up tomorrow. And just know that we very much appreciate all these notes that are coming in. I just sit here during breaks and read them all. And I wish I could sit here and write back to everybody. And maybe when we get done here, I'll have a little time. You're going to get right back to work.
You have a little bit of time. Yeah, I, again, will be, for those that may not know, when the show ends tomorrow, all of next week, Waddle and Sylvie will do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Thanksgiving and that Friday, my son Mike and Jason Fitz are going to do the show, and then myself, Trey Wingo, and my son Mike will be back on November 27th to start Golic and Wingo and start that and keep going. Same stations on radio, same ESPN2 as well. So a week off and then back at it. You'll have a little more time than that. Maybe write another book.
I am planning to write a book, and maybe I will try and write back to all these people.
There you go. Why don't you write back to all those people and write a book?
I'll write back on behalf of both of us. But it is since, look, how can you say it? How can you say thank you to everybody for doing this for us? You know, we started out as a very, very, very small show. And whatever it is that we've become now, however you quantify whatever it is that this is due to a lot of things. But first and foremost, it is due to, I think, radio in particular, which is where we started, is more than anything a word-of-mouth medium.
Right.
You know, people started listening. A few people did, and they liked it, and they told their friends. And that really, more than anything, is what sort of begat all of this.
I really, again, when we went on the road, some of the things I enjoyed the most was the parent. And I consider good parenting when you give your kid the day off of school.
Yeah.
Because there were some where the kids got the day off and others where they came early, and I'd be like, oh, you got day off school? They're like, no, we got to go to school. So wait, you had to get up really early to come to the show, and then your parents are taking you to school as well. That's a little, come on now.
I am bringing my kids to the last show tomorrow, but they are then going to school. So they'll be here. They're going to miss some of school.
What is that all about?
But they will go. Well, it's I guess I'm not a good parent.
My kids are all out of school. They're coming to the end of the show, and then we're going out drinking.
Yeah, we may do that too. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, Sean Payton not there yet, guys? Just someone give me an update in my ear, because if not yet. Okay, so we're waiting for him to call us. We've been planning to play the Good Morning song all week long, so we have a moment here. So why don't we do that? So there are going to be a lot of people who have no idea why we're playing this.
Right.
So this is the Good Morning song from the classic movie Singin' in the Rain, sung by Debbie Reynolds.
Debbie Reynolds.
And when we first started doing this show, and at that time it was called The Morning Show on ESPN Radio. They didn't call it Mike and Mike yet, because no one thought we'd last long enough to bother rebranding it.
Why put names on it?
This actually predates me. Yeah. You would play this all the time.
We played it all the time, yeah.
And I never understood why, and I would make fun of it. And my making fun of it sort of became part of the joke.
It did, but the amazing thing is, the singer of this, Debbie Reynolds, we actually went and interviewed Debbie
Correct.
Reynolds.
She came, and she just died recently.
Yeah.
Of course, but she
was playing around here
she
somewhere.
was at Mohegan Sun or Foxwoods, one of the casinos.
Set it up to where we went out there. And
we interviewed her.
Yeah. She had no clue who we were or anything like that.
Most certainly not.
But that was so much fun.
I have no idea what ever became of the tapes of that interview. I would love to hear it one way or another. But she was an iconic show business figure, of course. But whatever, we'd play this song and Golic would sing along.
We played it every day.
Literally every day.
Yep.
And I remember I started saying, we should stop playing this every day. And people got mad.
They
brought it up on the air and people were yelling at me. And I don't even remember how we stopped playing it.
I don't either. But over 18 years, you can't do one thing the entire 18 years. But you can certainly bring this back.
But I do have it. So we'll play it. And then we'll play it again tomorrow.
Yes, definitely.
For sure. But anyway, this harkens back. For some of you, this will bring back memories to the very, very first days of what is now called Mike and Mike.
Morning, good morning. The sunbeams will soon shine through. Good morning to you.
And you.
And you.
And you.
Good morning. Good morning. Woo! Here we go.
Bonjour. Buongiorno.
There you go. Woo! I always like Greeny do that part because I can't roll my
roll
R.
the R.
Yeah,
we used to work like crazy on you rolling the R. And I couldn't remember what the middle line was. We haven't done it in so long.
In a while,
because she says buenos dias, but they yell something back to her.
They do.
And now I can't remember what it was.
But we played that every single day. I sang it every single day. Greeny
and I remember
rolled
coming
the R's.
in here, and I'm in my early 30s, and I'm like, that's a movie from the early 30s. Not exactly, but you know what I mean. I remember saying to you, why the hell are we playing this song every single day?
It's an upbeat song. We had our fun talking about.
So even then, we were playing stuff that was completely dated.
Oh, it's exactly right.
Let the record show that we've been dated from day one. Remember when our official theme song of the NFL draft was ABBA, Take a Chance on Me.
Yeah.
Get that one up here, guys. What the hell? While we're sitting here doing this, and by the way, I blame Sean Payton for this. For any of you who are not entertained by this, it's exclusively his fault.
That's exactly right. Someone think, God, Golic and Greeny are reliving things, blame Sean.
Exactly. We were supposed to be interviewing
right now.
the coach of one of the best teams in the NFL now, but we don't have him with us as we were planning to, so we'll just vamp, and then we'll hope that he calls.
I think he's heard how the show has been ending this week, and is like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, seriously. But so we created this as the official theme song of the NFL draft. And one of the ways that I knew that things were starting to come together for us is when we would start interviewing people, they would ask for it. I'm talking about Bill Polian, who at that time was the general manager in Indianapolis.
Right.
And who Charlie Casserly would come on, and these guys would come on with us when we'd interview them before the draft, and they'd ask us to play the song. And again, we're talking about, this is a song that was dated.
We dated ourselves. It was ridiculous.
This song was dated 10 minutes after it was released.
Yeah.
And it got sort of another life because of Mamma Mia. But this became the official theme song of the NFL draft. Take a chance.
Take a chance, 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 take a chance.
And if you're wondering, doesn't this seem ridiculous?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, it always did. But it kind of kicks in here.
Yeah. I've noticed no matter what song plays when we chair dance, we do it the exact same way.
I only have one move.
We could be dancing to this or Snoop. Yeah. And we would dance the exact same way.
And I only have one move, and it's not even just because I'm in the chair.
Yeah.
If I were standing right now, I would be doing exactly the same.
But we played that all the time. Did we ever have any music associated with the show that was current?
Well, I mean, we wrote a bunch of songs. So we rewrote songs. One of the things that we did was all these song parodies.
Right.
And a lot of people would ask, what happened to the songs? Well, it's a long story, but we lost the ability to play them.
Yeah.
Based on trademark and copyright or whatever.
Based on money we'd have to pay.
Correct. We legally lost the right to play them.
Yeah.
But we did a million of those, and some of those were real.
Oh, my God.
When I rewrote In the Club to In the Country Club, and I rapped it, it was actually quite good.
Well,
I rapped
In
that
your
song
mind,
to 50
yeah.
Cent. That was not bad.
Yeah.
And you did the famous part of that song where it goes, "It's your birthday."
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
you did, "It's your bar mitzvah,"
It's
which
your
was
bar-
hilarious.
yeah,
I mean, this is the stupidity that we were doing alone in a room in the year 2000.
I think one of the best ones we did was Brad Lidge over Troubled Water.
That's what remains one of my favorites.
One of the best ones ever.
The great Joaquin
Yes.
was saying that. And Joaquin did that one. And all of the songs that we would do around the NCAA tournament with the bracket picks, the one that he sang that I still remember how well he sang, it was Golic Sheets Have No Shame.
Yeah.
Because you try and sing like Bono. That's not so easy to do.
Joaquin could kick it out.
Phenomenal.
All depending on what he drank that morning, but normally it was a lot, so he usually sang pretty well.
He was extraordinarily talented, and he would do those, and he would do the two main things he did on the show were those songs and then Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks.
Right.
We would do Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks every single week. They would air. We'd record them on a Tuesday. He would spend all Wednesday putting together all the millions of different sound drops. Then on Thursday, the TV would get it, and they'd put it to TV, and then we'd air it on Friday. And it was
a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but it was one of the best things we did.
Good, yeah.
So anyway, those were just some fun. And again, thank you for a little stroll with us.
You got
down
to hear
memory
about
lane.
all that because of Sean Payton.
So hopefully we'll have Sean Payton next, and if we don't, we'll have something planned.
Yeah.
You just added the Pedroia MVP song? Okay.
Oh, there we go. We had a bunch of MVP songs, too, that we made up songs for, and of course you had to make one up for Mr.
This one
Pedroia.
we can actually air because it's like public domain.
Yeah.
So it's not one of the best ones, but it is for reasons that you'll understand. Well, it's one of the funny ones. I just have to set it up. We did it to this song because Kevin Youkilis was an MVP candidate.
Right.
And he was and remains Jewish.
Yes, well, I don't think that changed.
And so we did a Kevin Youkilis song.
We did.
So then we added a Dustin Pedroia one to the same theme.
There wasn't a lot of words.
Throwing in the oi at the end of that was very funny.
Was,
but if you remember it, I still can picture this. We actually did the dance, and we had people doing the horror out there to this, which it's not a bad word. That's the dance that gets done to this. For those of you who are wondering what
not going to lie, my mind wandered.
Yeah, that's the name of the dance.
All right.
Anyway, it's otherwise known as the chair dance. You ever seen that? Weddings.
Maybe you should have gone with that one, huh?
Well, there's more to it than that. Anyway, It was funny. Trust me, in the moment it was funny. Hopefully Sean Payton, and if not, then other better things in a moment.
Farewell, Mike and Mike. God, I've been watching you guys and listening to you guys since I was a kid, which, God, that was a long time ago. You guys have been around a long time. This is a retirement. Oh, no, you're not retiring? Oh, boy, congratulations on your new venture. Good luck. You guys are aging really well. Keep it up.
Did Windy go farewell?
How about a little Windy action?
He went farewell.
He's very good. Thank you, Windy, and he's been a terrific addition. I really like him a lot.
Mike and Mike reminding you, if you want to get in touch with us, tweet us at Mike and Mike through the 1-800-Flowers.com Twitter feed, and we so appreciate all the tweets that have been coming out about people listening to this show. And you can show her or really anybody how thankful you are this holiday season with beautiful bouquets from 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can get 24 multicolored roses for just $24. Just go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN.
And let me read a few of these tweets actually on the quarterback question, because Dennis brings up, how about A.J. McCarron being available next year? Remember, he is fighting for the right
he is to be an
unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, he would be a restricted free agent. There's that battle now if he could be unrestricted. If he is unrestricted and available, again, he's one of those guys that the P word is attached to him, the potential of what he can do, but really the unknown of what he can actually do.
Walter points out Eli Manning might also be available, and that we have raised many times. Right. It is a possibility. The concept that Drew Brees can become a free agent is out there as well. And a lot of people are putting into the equation, Mike, the notion that one of the teams that might need a quarterback next year is Pittsburgh.
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger has talked a lot about retirement. Now, there are some guys who do that. Mm-hmm. Brett Favre. And then he just kept coming back and back and back and back.
Ben talks about retirement, talks about injuries.
Yeah, he's talked about that. He's talked about his concerns about concussions and all that. He takes a lot of hits. He's made a lot of money. How would you assess the chances that Roethlisberger doesn't come back next year?
As I don't believe it. I think he'll be back. But certainly, let's just play that out, though, and understand that if Pittsburgh, if he does retire, that is a team that would want to grab a veteran, because you have Antonio Brown, you have Le'Veon Bell, you have a good offense, you have a defense that is just getting better and better. You don't want to bring a young guy in there. You don't want to bring – well, you know what? I guess I shouldn't say that. It's exactly how Ben came into play. Ben came in, as a top pick, had a great running game and a really good defense, and they would win Super Bowls. They just didn't want him throwing the ball an awful lot. So I guess I should take that back. They've already proven that you can bring a young guy in with a really good running game and a really good defense and win. So that would be an interesting move.
They made the AFC Championship game his rookie year. They won the Super Bowl his second year. But I agree with you. I'd be more inclined to believe they would be going out to get a veteran quarterback if that happened. Mike and Mike at our Sports Center, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Other wireless providers say they'll cut your bill in half, but who knows what kind of coverage you'll get. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get nationwide coverage on America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks, and their no-contract unlimited plan is only $45 a month. Let me get some straight talk from you. Mm-hmm. Derek Jeter is now one of the owners of the and sort of the representing owner of the Miami Marlins. And he, in an interview yesterday down there at the meetings, said that he has not had any conversations with Giancarlo Stanton. And there is enormous suspicion at this point, based upon their desire/need to cut payroll and change around some of their finances, that they're going to trade Stanton. And some people are questioning the fact that Jeter himself has not spoken to Stanton at all. And so I said to you during the break a moment ago, would you always expect the owner to talk to the player in a circumstance like that?
I wouldn't always, and basically what they're doing, Derek Jeter's leaving it to Michael Hill, the Marlins president of baseball operations, to be the point man for outreach with the team's star right fielder. There just seems to be something about this one. This is a monster guy, and as Jeter said, there's financial things we have to get in order. This organization's been losing money for quite some time, so we all know it all points in neon flashing lights at the money left on Stanton's contract. We all get that. A guy that could be right on the verge of winning the NL MVP tonight. To me, it just seems right in this instant that if he's going to be talked to about the potential situation, that it be Derek Jeter. I'm not an owner. I don't work in management. But there are just some things to me that seem right to do. Derek Jeter is an icon in the sport, walks into the Hall of Fame. All the great things said about him, team leader, the whole deal. This just seems to be one of those situations that he takes the reins of. Because this is not that he's going to do it with every single player, but we get this one. This is an organization that's trying to, reestablish themselves. They're in a tight money situation, been losing money, and they got a high-priced guy who knocks the ball out of the park, which is what everybody wants to see nowadays, and could be the MVP. To me, it just seems like it deserves the attention of Derek Jeter. First-time owner, coming in. This is a major situation where a top-level player may be moved for financial reasons. We've seen it before, but I just think him being as a first-time owner, first real big move, to me, there just sees something that he should be talking to Stanton about this. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, to be clear, I know what you mean by that, but it has his attention. There's no question.
No, I get that.
It's just a question of whether he's the one communicating. He doesn't seem to be doing a lot of communicating.
No.
Right? If we've noticed that. And Derek Jeter, that was never his forte.
No, it was not.
As a player. He was very good at saying a lot of words and them adding up to very little.
Nothing, right.
Which was a great skill as a player. And is a very good skill as a high-profile baseball owner publicly as well. But the interpersonal piece of it, one of the reasons that maybe you'd think he'd be effective is that guys will want to be around him.
Yeah.
It depends on the relationships he builds. Anyway, I got a good little trivia question for you here. All right, so Giancarlo Stanton, as you just mentioned, might be named the National League's MVP tonight, and he might be traded during this offseason. If he does, he would become the third player ever to win the MVP award and then change teams the following year. Can you name the two players in baseball history who won the MVP and were on different teams the following season? The answer, and Nick Saban, next. Mike and Mike.